Soundstrap.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone.
Soundstrap.
Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible.
Welcome back to the XandOSports Show. I'm your host, P. Stanley. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We got Coach P back with us tonight. He had so much fun. He's decided he's going to come back for some more. Tell everybody how you doing, Coach P.
Good evening. How is everyone out there in radio land?
Sir, I say Coach P. Of course, he is a native of the Ohio State area. And of course, Ohio State got a big game, and we're going to cover that tonight. And we'll cover some top games, and we're going to cover our Thursday NFL game as well. So everybody is familiar with Coach P, so we're going to dive right in it. First game on the list, Coach P. We got Florida State versus Clemson. Who you got?
Florida State in a tight one. It's not the end for Clemson, but the way Florida State is playing right now was good. They had that hiccup on the road with Boston College, but just feel Florida State is, they're going to let everybody know this time around that they're almost back. They're almost back, and they're going to prove to the nation, and they're going to prove to everybody in the ACC that they're on a collision course with that team that you and my son love at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. Those games, I think my palms sweat more than anybody I know. Even though I've seen times we've been the better team, and I still get nervous because it's a rival game and anybody could win.
Right.
So my prediction with the Florida State versus Clemson. Now, in my opinion, I throw the rankings out the window. I feel like this is a trap game for Florida State. Clemson has the guys. They just ain't got the pieces to put it together yet. Now, if Florida State does not come to play, Clemson could upset their whole season. Now, I got Florida State by 7 just because I saw what Boston College did, and we know this is a copycat league.
Right.
I got Florida State by 7. I hope they don't let me down because I do want them to stay undefeated until we play them.
Right. Let everybody know who we is.
Oh, yeah, of course, the University of Miami.
Okay.
I think that we ain't there yet, but we on the way. How Deion say, we on the way. We coming.
Right, we coming.
So,
okay.
Now, I do like Jordan Travis. Last year, I saw him play a little bit, and I was like, he's athletic, but I hate the athletic quarterbacks that don't elevate their game. I feel like he's gotten better since last year.
Right.
And the first game, I was like, either he's better than I thought or LSU sucks. Now, I think it's better than I think. Because LSU, I feel like LSU still going to win 9 games.
Right.
Boston College is nothing to sneeze at. So I think as he progresses, I think him and Shedeur could be neck and neck at the end. But, I'll tell you who I got my money on later.
Okay.
All right. So second game is going to be the biggest hype game. And I actually think the viewership will probably lean towards them over the final game we're going to talk about, Colorado versus Oregon. Now, I've had this game circled since before the season.
Right.
I said this right here because everybody was like not in on the Deion hype. I watched and went back and watched every game at Jackson State. And I was like, you know what? This game is gonna open everybody's eyes up. Is he for real or not? So the TCU game, everybody was like, oh, well, he's not going to win because they was in the national championship last year. They're not there yet. All the real analysts and all these guys that get paid to do what we're talking about right now, they were all wrong besides one guy. And I'm not going to use his name because he's not on my show. But there's one guy, he actually was right because they made he has so many transfers and he's not going to have enough camaraderie and all that. And he said, hey, I got my Louis and I got somebody who can carry it. I'm good. The fact that he upset TCU, then turn around and beat a strong Nebraska team. Everybody looks at what Nebraska hadn't played nobody. Nebraska is still a Division I strong team.
Yes.
So nothing to sneeze at. Colorado State, last week I felt like it was a trap game. Matter of fact, shout out to my mom. It was her birthday weekend. That's why we didn't cover it last week. But Colorado State, I felt like that was a trap game. And you saw the people that didn't watch. Do not watch the highlights. Watch the whole game. Colorado did not tie the game up until it was 45 seconds left in the game. Yeah. So Colorado State, the one that's supposed to have been a blowout, they actually swung haymakers all night long. I love when Shador actually went out, was a 98-yard drive, drove his troops all the way down. That is true leadership. And I know Deion is going to be upset because I think his son is going to leave him after this year. But that was the awakening of showing like, hey, he's going to be a top Heisman candidate. But back to Colorado versus Oregon. Coach, who you got?
I don't do point spreads. You know I don't do point spreads. And it's really hard to go against Colorado. Mm-hmm. But I think this is the first time that they will not win. Mm-hmm. But I do understand that they are going to cover that point spread. Mm-hmm. So I really think this is going to be the first game that they have a shortcoming in as far as this season goes.
Okay. Now, like I said, a lot of times when I do predictions, some people do it off point spread, some people do it off. I never forget, I used to do, and I retired from it, I used to do the NCAA brackets.
Right.
And I used to go so deep, I was like, okay, this team got 7 guys with 6'7" wingspan, 6'9" guys, and they'll lose to somebody like Weber State. So I started throwing it out the window. I was like, you got to have it in here.
That's it.
Now, this is going to be one of the biggest games of the year, in my opinion. And I got this game. I'm okay if my prediction is wrong. I'm okay with it. But I'm going with Colorado for the upset. Now, this is why. Nobody's expecting Colorado to win this game but the guys in that locker room. And that's all they need is the people in their locker room to believe. The most dangerous team is someone fighting that has nothing to lose.
Right.
Oregon is fighting for the state of the union of their season right now. If they lose to Colorado, they ain't out of it, but it ain't looking good. And I really
the way the Pac-10 is this year, with the closing of the Pac-10, so in so many words, with the closing in so many words of the Pac-10, they've been having a great season this year as far as a conference goes. Mm-hmm. And to understand and know, it'd be great. This story has been great so far in Colorado. Mm-hmm. And I'm not one to say that they can't go undefeated. Mm-hmm. But if they were going to lose a game this season, this is the one that I see them losing. Circumstances, not having Travis this game, knowing that you're on the road, which is great for you because you actually play better away from home than you do at home.
Yeah.
In big games, because the familiarity of people pulling at you when you're at home. On the road, you can just focus on who you need to focus on. And that's the reason why I say Colorado still has not established a run game. And until they can get some semblance of a run game, that probably will be the difference in the game, because time of possession last week, Colorado State did an excellent job of keeping that high-powered offense off the field. But you can't give Shador time, going back to what you said, because there's no time on the clock is best for Colorado, because if he has any time, he has a chance. But I really think they're going to cover the point spread, which is 21 right now. Okay. I think they're going to cover the point spread, but I don't think that, and I love to be proven wrong on this, but I think Oregon's going to get them.
And so I got Colorado by 4. But, and like I said, I just want to blow Vegas out of the water if they win. But the thing is about this game, they said the Pac-12. Man, most people are like, well, where'd you come up with this wild idea? All right, so the Pac-12, how many quarterbacks we had in the last 10 years? A lot, right?
Right.
And people were like, well, where's Coach Stanley going down with this yellow brick road? You play defensive back, right?
Yes.
How many defensive backs have you seen come out of the Pac-12?
We still got a few in there now. We still have a few in there, but to say the Pac-12 is known for defense, it's kind of, that's kind of a stretch. But at the same time, Pac-12, Big 12, not necessarily known for defense. You have a player or two, but to say that conference is known for their defense is really not. They're known for high scoring and exotic offenses and fast pace and NASCAR or whatever you want to call your package where you're hurrying up, getting to the line of scrimmage, your no huddles, line of scrimmage. But just going back to the game, seeing it, it's going to be really great to see it. Probably won't get to see as much this weekend. My nephew getting married, so won't be able to see as much of it this weekend. But I'm glad it's not coming on late again, because Colorado games late, you had to be a real fan to stay up and watch them play a 10 o'clock game, because that was a stretch last week, to try and get up and go to church afterwards.
I ain't gonna lie, I had to rewatch it because I was in there. I was in there like an elderly man. No. But when I'm glad I got. So I saw this. So the crazy thing was I saw the score and I was like, oh, okay, they took care of business. It was close. But then I went back and watched. I was like, are they still losing?
Right.
In 45 seconds, I'm just like, it's one of those, that remind me of like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning drive. Too much time on the clock.
And going to that game, I know we're going to move on to the next game, but closing out on this game, it was amazing to see, but to know the last team with that ball was going to win that game.
Oh, yeah.
Or the last team really, you really didn't really see anybody stopping anybody. I thought it was going to get up to about 60 or 70 at one time, but I'm glad that it stopped when it did, because it was a good game. It was an entertaining game. And as far as Colorado goes right now, Shanahan said it today, it's just great seeing what's going on in college football right now, because it's not just college football, what's going on in football. Watching Colorado and what's going on with Deion down, Coach Prime down there.
Yeah, because it's great because, we're not trying to jump the gun with the NFL, but like it's not looking too good for the NFL right now, especially with all the stars being hurt. But
man. Just stay off Monday Night Football.
Thank you. So the next game we got, most people think it's not a big game, but it's a big game for me and my program. The University of Miami versus Temple. Now, the University of Miami, I want them to take care of business. The reason why I wanted to cover this game is because this is going to be the brink of the momentum to increase our season. So Temple, first of all, if you do a little bit of history on Temple have never been like the last couple of years, they haven't been a team that you sneeze at.
Right.
In their conference, they have been playing well, and they have played some good talent. But I want Mr. Cristobal, if I think I'm saying his name right, I want you to look at my beady eyes. I want you to let the dogs off the porch and don't let them off. Don't let them back on. I want him to get on them early like a dog in heat, send the guys. I want to be fast, physical, and I want them to send a message. Now, there's like, oh, it's just Temple. But guess what? Somebody else have to play us out the Temple. If we go, we were 3-0.
Was it Georgia Tech? You guys play next? Y'all play Georgia Tech next?
Yes, and I hate playing those guys. There's a trap game every year, and they'll be like 0-9, and I'm like, oh God, we're playing Georgia Tech. They upset us in basketball last year. We hadn't really lost to anybody, and we lose to them. Football and basketball, Georgia Tech has always been a trap game for us. I guess we just don't take them serious, but they can beat you. But
I think they should handle business in this game. I think Miami should go ahead and take care of business. You had a little extended break as well, with you playing the early game. Had a high school game last week, but I won't say anything about that. But you guys took care of business. You took care of who was on your schedule, and I think this is just preparation for getting into your ACC play.
Oh, yeah. And last week, I was like a kid in a candy store. I had Miami and the Eagles playing the same night. Right. And I was like, it takes the stress off of me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
iPad here, TV here. But the good thing was there's no stress on Saturday because my guys didn't play, and no stress on Sunday.
Right.
But I got Miami winning by no minimum of 14 points. I think we can go and take care of business.
Okay. Please don't say
So,
anything about the proteins. Oof.
oh yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But who? So did you just say you didn't do a point spread, but you had Miami take care of business?
Yeah, man, Miami taking care of business in that game.
Now I did save your boys for last.
Oh.
Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I'm gonna let you go first. Since this you're a homer. Who you got and what you think? Well, you could do point spread if you want to. What you got?
I'm still never going to do a point spread. It's amazing to me that Notre Dame is playing the way that they're playing with Sam Hartman, which is a great pickup for them as far as that portal and whatnot goes. Sam Hartman is a veteran. He knows how to play. I do not want Notre Dame to have that drive the ball in the fourth quarter against us. I want us to establish a run game. Who wins that line of scrimmage? Because Notre Dame is perennially good on defense. But the way we've been playing this season, if our line plays like it's been playing here lately, last week we put up a lot of points against Youngstown State, but I do see us pulling this game out. What's it, 8 games? I think they said this is getting ready to be the 8th one. We're 5-2 against Notre Dame. We don't play them that much, but it's always a big game when we play because they're who they are, we who we are. Touchdown Jesus. We're gonna be calling on Touchdown Jesus on Saturday. And like I said, it's something playing certain teams at night. Going to South Bend at night is just different. And for anybody who played football on the next level like we did, it's just something to go into a hostile environment at night. You really see how good of a team that you are. So this is the first real big test. We had the road game with Indiana, and the next 2 games have been at home. So this is the first real road test that's going to test us before the Big Ten play that starts right after this. And it's going to be a great matchup. And it's nothing like for Freeman, the head coach, former Buckeye. That's great to see. Happy for him coaching at Notre Dame. And after this game is over with, it's going to be great to see, shaking his hand saying, hey, next year, maybe next time. But hopefully Buckeyes can pull it out. I see the Buckeyes pulling out, not hopefully. I see the Buckeyes pulling this one out.
Yeah, and so I got you guys in a close one. And like I said, and the way I was looking at it is, okay, this is Notre Dame. We've known that Notre Dame has always been a physical team. You have to establish a run game, like you said. And I would say the best way to beat Notre Dame is to have a controlled offense. If you win a time of possession, don't turn the ball over. I feel like Notre Dame is good enough to turn the ball over and get it to you. Right. I've watched them closely. They're okay, but they're not perfect yet. And I got you guys, and you guys are home, right?
No. We're going to South Bend. We're going to South Bend. 7:30 game too.
Ooh, so like I said, I got you guys in a close one.
Yeah.
Now, maybe with getting away from, Ohio State land, maybe like I said, you guys can settle in. It's just you guys versus the world. I think that mentality could get you guys in a close one. Now, I got Ohio State winning, and I didn't put a point spread because of the fact that you guys are away. Right. So now, normally we cover the big games in the college, and then we go to the NFL. Okay. Now, I really feel like this is one of those games that's like, it's going to either make me look like a genius or an idiot. But I love the fact that San Francisco is playing the 49ers, and I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction first. I don't think it's a chance in Hades that the Giants have to win. Just off the fact that I saw how they got obliterated. First of all, I lost in my fantasy league because of the Cowboys giving, they had 40 points just off the Giants by themselves. Shout out to Uncle Ramsey. Yeah, he beat me pretty bad that week because I was predicted to beat him by 10 and lost by 35 because of the defense of the Cowboys.
Right.
And I'm looking down the list and I'm just like, it ain't looking good for the Giants. Now, the Giants, I didn't see anything that I liked from them in the first 2 weeks. Saquon did okay, and he's hurt, and he's out this game. So your main weapon is out, which I had to pick up another running back for him. So let's just go down the list. All right, so you got Brock Purdy. Now, most people are like, well, Brock Purdy's not that good. He's efficient. He's going to throw 220 yards, 250 yards max. Then you got Christian McCaffrey, white chocolate. He's going to get out there. He's going to hit the off tackle. He's going to dance on your linebackers. He's going to have probably about 200 yards total offense. Now, who do you have in the secondary that's going to be able to check Debo? I'll go ahead and tell you right now, nobody. What's the kid? Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. You ain't got nobody to cover him either. So if you can't, you're not going to stop Christian McCaffrey with a linebacker, so you're going to have to use a safety. And those other guys are going to cook the DBs they got. Now, let's just flip the ball over. And I'm looking at the defense. God bless America. If you thought the Cowboys dominated the Giants, this about to get ugly. Now, I like Nick Bosa. I remember when he played in the interior for Ohio State. I think it's his first year. I like Nick. I actually like Nick better than his older brother. I just felt like he just hit.
Where did he play?
Ohio State.
Okay, all right.
Both of the Bosa brothers have always been pretty good, but I always had my money on Nick. I just felt like he hit just that much. And my man Armstead, I want to say he came out of Oregon.
Right.
Yeah, grown man. I don't see anybody up front for the Giants be able to stop him. Nick Bosa's going to eat. My man, Javon, I wish he was still an Eagle, but unfortunately he had a whole lot of depth. I think he's going to eat as well. So if you got these guys, we're not even talking about Fred Warner at middle linebacker. He's going to have a field day because those 4 linemen are going to suck up all the blocks, and he might have 14 tackles.
Just wrong, yeah. And
the secondary, not bad, but I think it's going to be like catching punts out there. He's not going to have time to throw anything. So I got the 49ers beating the Giants by at least 17. I'm going to be nice. What you got, Coach?
San Fran is playing some really good ball this year. I seen them the first game. I felt them the first game, being a Steeler fan. And I got an opportunity to watch the Giants in the second half of their game last week before Saquon got hurt. They showed a lot of character because being down the way they were down to the Cardinals last week, that's why a game is never over. They're NFL players, and everybody's always got a chance, like Mike Tyson say back in the day, until everybody got a plan until they get hit. And San Fran is playing some good ball right now. They're probably, outside of Dallas, is playing the best ball of any NFL team right this second. And they are getting the opportunity to go home because they played their first 2 games on the road. So with the Saquon issue being the way it is, what are they going to do at running back for the Giants? Matt Breida and a host of other guys that they have. I'm going to say San Fran's going to win this game. I ain't going to say 17, but I could see them winning this game and representing, because they're going to honestly be able to say it's no place like home, their first home game of this season.
All right. So last week they had 26 carries, which is the same number as Saquon gets, right? So out of 26 carries, Matt Breida had 1.
Right.
So will he actually hold up to take the ball 26 times? Because out of those 26 carries, Matt Jones had 9.
Oh, it'll be a committee. It'll be a committee. Yeah, it'll be a committee. It's going to be Matt Breida plus, Matt Jones plus, a couple other names there. I'm not familiar with the Giants backs like that, but I know they're going to spread it around and try to keep as much as they can San Francisco's offense off the field. I think San Fran, like I said, first home game, being at home, they're going to take care of business out there in Candlestick area.
Like I said, and only how I could see first of all, I don't think San Francisco will lose, but I don't know how I could see this being close. Is Daniel Jones have to go without turnovers? They can't let Kyle Shanahan and that offense get going. So that means they're gonna have to limit the possessions they have.
Right.
So I can see right now, if let's say the game is tied and somehow, let's say the Giants score, they're going to immediately have to kick an onside kick. They're going to have to steal a possession or win in special teams to actually keep this game close.
Right.
It's just looking at it straight up, it ain't looking good. Like I said, if they show up, like, now I understand, like, even with the Eagles playing the first week, we didn't play our best game because we had a generic game plan together. We didn't want to show too much. And I hate how, now, as a coach now, I'm an official coach now, I hate how some coaches be like, oh, I don't want to show too much too early. I put it like this: you got to stop it. You can be like, okay, let's say if I go 4 verticals a lot, you still have to have your linebackers underneath to understand if you go a cover 3 and 4 verticals, it's 4 against 3, right? Everybody like, oh, just go man under. Those linebackers better be able to cover.
Right.
So if they can't, right in front of the safeties is where the weakness is. Right. Or if your safeties cheat on the hash, it's going over the top onto 18 yards on a whole shot to the left or the right. Now, because I remember we played in college, we will get beat the first 2 games of the year every year because our coach will be like, well, I don't want to show my hand. Bro, they know what we're going to run. They got to take for 3 years on us. They know, got an idea what we're going to run. They don't know what series we're going to run it in. But if you take care of business, you'll be fine.
That's it.
Because like Oregon, everybody knew that they ran an up-tempo offense. They did. And they were just pretty much throw a little mirage on the inside zone, outside zone. Right. They run a little bit of jet and they go play action. Like, I watched it every week like it was clockwork. And the thing is, if you do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't matter if they know what you're going to do. They still have to stop it. That's so it. We had a better game plan. The Eagles had a better game plan against Minnesota. And I really hated that we gave what they call him, Jay Jettas. I hate that we even let him get over 100 yards. Now, right, he's nothing to sneeze at now. Right. He's a grown man. Right. But I felt like we could have made a statement as a defense if we held him under 100. Because he's still gonna get 1,700 this year. He gonna get his. Okay. He gonna get his.
Okay, he's gonna see more double coverages than you guys are putting on him too, though.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've seen double coverages on him, especially if it was against Detroit. Oh my God, don't get me started on them. Last year, Jay Jettas had double teams. They tried to bracket him. And, and he was like, you know what? Let me throw it up. Right. He still came down with it. Yeah, right. And so I think someone asked me, I'm going to ask you this too, while we got a little bit of time left. Who do you have that is better? Now, you can't go wrong with either, but I have a preference, and I'll let you go first. Right. Who is better between Jefferson and Jamar Chase?
Situation-wise, those guys are teammates. They were teammates on the national championship team. Jefferson got a chance to show how good of a player he was his last year with Chase sitting out, not playing. And then he showed everybody that he wasn't second. He was a 1A, 1B option. So you can't go wrong with either one. If you picked in fantasy this year, you're welcome for being welcome to the Get Some 23 League. He was probably the top receiver picked, but Chase wasn't far behind either. So depending on the circumstances, run after the catch, it just depends on what your choice or what your preference is. Me personally, I've seen Chase more. He's in our division, so I'm gonna see Chase a little more than I'll see Jefferson. But who's throwing? How's the offensive line doing to give the quarterback time to get him the ball? Both of them put up phenomenal numbers, and the one thing I like about Jefferson is he's consistent, and he's not been injured or anything like that. Don't want to jinx him or anything like that, but just getting the opportunity to see him and see him work and watch him some this offseason, his preparation for the game, that, I don't really get a chance to see Jamar now. Since I'm just getting back, I will get a chance to see him more. But, seeing him now and see the league is getting more adjusted to Jamar. And Jefferson still, especially this year, you're going to really see how good he is. not having who he had over there to kind of protect him, where you couldn't double him. But now that option is gone to Carolina now. So knowing that he's going to see a lot more double coverages, it's going to be interesting to see getting into the season this year, how they're going to do.
And
I'll still and to answer your question, how do you pick between Chase and Jefferson? Where are you gonna go wrong?
do the bubble gum in the dish?
Yeah, where you go wrong? I just want to know who's got the better end zone dances. That's what I like. Now I'm just messing with you, but so, I wouldn't. You're not gonna go wrong picking either one.
I have a sour taste in my mouth now. I love me some Smitty, and I'm growing accustomed to our other receiver, Brown. Hey, both of them are studs.
Right.
But to this day, every time I look at Jefferson in his face, it makes me a little sick.
Why?
We passed on him and got the receiver from TCU.
That's not even on your team now?
He didn't even make it 2 years.
You're talking about Jalen Reagor? If I'm not mistaken, Jalen Reagor. So you guys Philadelphia had an opportunity to pick him.
I just knew it was a no-brainer. Oh, yeah, we got him. Oh, yeah. Who? I had to go look Reagor up. I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is.
Yeah, he was a good punt returner.
And I was like, y'all pick. Then I was like, well, maybe they think he's a flash in the pan. But I watched him. And Joe Burrow, I was like, he's good, but he ain't that good to make him look that good that he's not a good receiver.
Right.
And every time I said we didn't have to trade up, he fell to us and we gave him up. Now, we did get Smitty, which I love Smitty's route running, and I feel like Smitty is gonna be a top 5 receiver once especially after this year. But I just feel like we could have had Jefferson. And I was like, but neither here or there. I think Carson would have found a way to mess it up. So we was probably in the same boat. But one thing I do like about Jefferson, you said consistency. His rookie year, he had 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. And
I was like, you know what? We're going to find out how good he is. Now, I gave him a whole lot of credit for that rookie year just because of the fact that he had no OTAs and he had to use Zoom to practice with his team because of COVID.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, okay.
Right.
He just, God-given. Okay. So the next year, I was like, well, let's see, can he do it again? So the next year, he had 1,616 yards and 10 touchdowns. And everybody knew that he was going to get the ball. Because Thielen had became a number 2 option. I was like, you know what? All right.
That's why I was saying what I was saying. Now that Thielen is gone to the Panthers, you're going to really see how good he is because, like you said, he was the number 1, but you still had Thielen as an option. Now, with Osborne and Addison, younger guys than him playing, you're going to see when the whole defense is, okay, we're putting his name up, hey, we got to slow this guy down. Because when you do any kind of film on Minnesota, not the quarterback, you're trying to figure out how to slow Jefferson down.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to swing your coverage that way. And that safety is going to be over top of him. And if you got a real good corner, you kind of want to get up there and make him do a little extra before, because you're not going to stop him from getting off the line of scrimmage. Because that's why teams will put him in a slot or put him in motion and, to kind of help out a little bit. But that's why I say the consistency and then him being healthy. That's the one thing now. And, hopefully we can get through this Monday night coming up, because I got to see who the game is. But it's amazing to me, these 2 games transitioning. These 2 games so far, you had perennial great players.
Yep.
Hurt for the season already. And, oh man, my fantasy back. My number. I love my numbers now. And my number 24 went down, even though it was against my Steelers. I'm still watching paint dry when I see us on offense. Nobody likes to watch paint dry. But it's just amazing to me, man, that what's going on right now. And I had a guy ask me a question, Coach, man, what's going on? Why people getting hurt on Monday night? I said, man, I don't know. It's just unfortunate.
Yes.
If I could use the word, it's just I hate to see it, man, because these are top guys that's getting hurt.
Oh yeah, and I think these guys, it's like I said, it's unfortunate because unfortunately, I had Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, which I had to cut last week.
Okay, and I had Chubb as running back.
Yeah.
So
you can survive without Chubb. I got to have a signal caller. So,
there you go with that quarterback stuff again. Still down in my doggone running backs. There we go.
Like I said, I love some Chubb, especially when we came out of Georgia. But Coach P's been great. Our countdown is on.
Okay.
I want you to stay on after this.
Okay.
But this is our second episode with Coach P. Had a lot of fun. We can't wait to see what these games look like. I'm Coach Stanley. This is Coach P, and we are out of here.
Soundstripe.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone.
Soundstripe.
Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a